Hi, I'm Adrian, and in this video we're going to look at how you set up a course on Cademy. I'm logged into the admin dashboard, and from here I can click on the courses section and then click on the create course button to get started. You can see that I'm prompted to pick the type of course I want to create, and there's a few different options. In this video we're only going to focus on classes. There's different videos in our knowledge base on how you create on request training courses or on demand courses hosted on Cademy. And blended courses as well has its own article. So I'd recommend you look into our knowledge base, which you can find in here, for instructions on how you set up those different types of classes. Now, what does a class actually look like on Cademy? I have a few examples that I have prepared earlier, so I'd like to showcase them to you first. So this is an example of a basic class. It's delivered online through something like Zoom. And you can see that it lasts 2 hours, and it starts on the 1st of September at 6 o'clock, ends at 8 o'clock. Nice and simple. The price is $0, so it's a free course. I'm not going to be prompted to pay at the point when I book. I'll just have to enter my contact details and I'll be able to register for the course. The second example is a course that has multiple dates. So you can see that as a customer, I can use the calendar to navigate and pick a date that works for me. And if there's more than one time on a single date, they're going to be listed here, and I'm going to be able to pick the time that works for me. This class is delivered in person. It runs for 4 hours, and you can see that there's also a location on it. Pretty nice. The third example is a course that lasts over several weeks, and there's sessions every week. So you can see that this is an 8-week course, and it has a class every Thursday at 9 o'clock, right? Nice and simple. And in this particular example, there's several different start dates. So there's 3 different terms, one starting in January, one in June, and one in September. And I can preview the dates for each of those terms by hovering over the summary here. And I can book a particular term by clicking the book button. Nice and simple. And the fourth example is a course that has no dates at all. It just has the request a date button, and the customer would enter the date that suit them and send you a little message. And they're not going to have to pay to request a date. They're just going to essentially send you an inquiry, and you're going to be able to handle that back and forth. And once you're happy with all the details, you're going to be able to send them a payment link if you want to. So these are the 4 different examples. Single date, several dates are individually bookable, and then a course with multiple sessions in a block, and no dates at all. Let's see how you actually set this up through Cademy. I'm back in the admin dashboard, and now I'll click on the first tab at the top for class, and I'll enter all the details in the course editor. So you can see that in here I have 2 parts. So the part on the left is where I'll enter all my details, and the part on the right is going to be a preview of my course. So I see what that's going to look like as I set this up. So example class is going to be my title. Next, I'm able to pick whether the class is delivered in person or online. And if it's online, I can actually enter the URL where the customer is going to be able to join the class. So if it's the Zoom URL, you'd put that in here. And by default, we send that in the confirmation email after they purchase. And the customer is also able to log in into their little profile, and they're going to be able to see all the classes they've booked, and they're going to have access to the Zoom link from there as well. To keep it simple, I'm just going to set it up as an in-person class. I've entered the location here, and you can see that there's a map that shows me where that is. I can enter the number of people in the class, so I'll just put in 12, and you can see that reflected on the right side here. So this is just to give the customer a general idea of how many people are going to be there, so we're essentially managing the expectations here. But we're able to control the capacity for each of the dates that we add individually, so don't worry about that just now. Next, I'm going to enter the price, and I'm going to keep it simple, put in £100, and there's a separate video going into how you can add different pricing options and so on, but I'm not going to cover that here to keep it short. I'm going to put the category, the level as beginner, and I'm going to paste in some description that I have copied in from earlier to save us time. So I click next, and this is going to take us into the second tab here for dates. In the dates tab, I can configure how this course can actually be booked. So the first option at the top is dates agreed on request, and we saw that option in this example here where customers can request a date. So that's dates agreed on request. The single date option is where there's just one date the customer books, and that's all. Pretty boring, but quite useful sometimes. Next, we have multiple dates, where you can just add the dates of your class to the list, and the customer can pick any of these dates to book. I'll just remove them, but before I do, just keep in mind that you can adjust the number of spaces on each date through here as well. And another note is that this layout might look a bit different for you. If I go and make the screen a bit smaller, you can see that the calendar's gone at the top. We're just trying to display this depending on your screen size the best way we can. So don't worry if it looks slightly different. It's just all going to work pretty much the same. Okay, so in this example, each date that I was adding was individually bookable by the customer. But if I want to create a block of dates that they have to book all at once, I can click on dates booked as a block, and I create a little block. I'll say this is going to be the autumn term. And once I created my block, I can just add in the dates for that block. So I'm going to say it's going to run every Wednesday for 8 weeks. And before I go in and add in all the dates, I'd recommend you first add in your first date, right? You add in your first date and then change the start and end time. So if I want my class to start at 4 o'clock and end at 5 o'clock, do that for the first session you add in your block. And this applies to the individually bookable dates as well, because as you add in new dates, you can see that the start and end times are copied over from the last session you created. So that's going to just save me time when I add them in here. Nice and simple. Okay, I think I'm pretty much ready. I can add more terms if I want to, but I don't have to. All I want to do is just publish this, so I'm good to go. And if I click here, save, I can see that I have the option to just save this or save and publish. If I click here, now my course is live and ready to be booked. So if I click to view course, I can see all the details that I've configured. So the level, the duration, all the dates that I've added, the location, all it is here, and I can just book it and pay, and that's all. Nice and simple. I just want to mention that there's also a last tab here for settings, where you can customize the booking form that customers fill out when they purchase. You can customize and add frequently asked questions to your course. They're going to show on the course page like this. And you can customize the email that gets sent on the back of a booking. So all these details are customizable, but you don't have to change them. There's good enough defaults in place. So if you don't change any of these, it's still going to send a very good confirmation email to the customer. It's still going to be a decent booking form for them. It's all going to work. So just don't worry about them if you don't have to. All right, so I hope this covers everything. And if you have any questions, please get in touch through live chat at the bottom right, or just ask any questions through email or anything that's convenient to you. We're always happy to chat to you. Thank you and take care.